like, we're defending Western, when Mark Levin's like, we're defending Western civilization, or Randy Fine, who's like, yeah, we just have to kill every Palestinian because they're Palestinian so we can defend Western civilization. I'm like, no. You are the enemy of Western civilization because collective punishment is the enemy of Western civilization. Period.
Wow.
So no other...
That's what I wanted to say, and I said it, and they called me a Nazi, and I'm like, actually, I hate the Nazis for that specific reason.
But wait, what I hear you saying, sort of, is that you wanted to reach him. You wanted him...
Of course I want to reach him and everyone watching.
But were you trying to help him in a way?
I want to tell the truth as I understand it with the ever-present knowledge that I'm kind of a buffoon and I'm often wrong. I supported the Iraq War. I remind myself of that every single day. I've made a ton of mistakes, a ton of errors and judgments. I've been carried away by enthusiasm and particularly by anger many times in my life. So with that knowledge, knowing that I am imperfect and I don't always possess the truth, okay? You always have to remember that because I'm not God. I still want to tell the truth as clearly and completely as I can in every venue, in every conversation, as fearlessly and without shame as I possibly can. And that's why Nazi Week doesn't bother me anymore, because I'm not a Nazi. I'm a Christian.
Of course. So what about, I don't want to spend the whole time on this, but I am curious.
I'm going to get in trouble. Y'all can put me in 0-second timeout. I'm fine with that. Nick Fuentes calls himself a Yahtzee. Nick Fuentes calls himself a Christian. Okay, never mind. Maybe it's nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Okay, never mind.
Criticism, as I understand it, has been, well, yes, platforming. They say that I don't accept platforming as a valid objection.
When is that a verb, by the way? You take a noun and you make it into a verb and nobody says anything? As a former editor, I say no.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
Honestly, but as far as I know, Nick Fuentes hasn't eaten anyone. You know, I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer ate people, and he was platformed by Diane Sawyer.
Dude, we have a sitting member of Congress. I spoke to the Speaker of the House about this today. We have a sitting member of Congress from Florida called Randy Fine, who was literally texted or put on Twitter, we should kill them all, every single one. Someone texted a picture of a dead baby, and he laughs at it. And it's like, this guy's a lawmaker who's appropriating money to a military committing genocide, and that's cool? It's not cool.
No.
And let's just be honest. That is much worse than anything Nick Fuentes has said, period.
Are you sure about that?
So the main pushback has been when you had Jeffrey Dahmer or the Ku Klux Klan, or et cetera, these journalists went after them, like exposed the terrible things. And Nick Fuentes has said a long list of very vile things.
Big time, including attacking my dad, which was the most vile of all, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I personally have watched videos of him questioning the Holocaust, likening it to baking cookies in the oven, and there's no way you could have gotten to 6 million, seems to be his theory. He seems to think that we've way overstated the number of Jews killed in the Holocaust. He's ripped on poor Usha Vance in the most offensive terms, which I mean, so what do you say to those people who say, why didn't you raise any of that?
You know, do your own interview the way that you want to do it. You're not my editor. Buzz off. I mean, I don't know. Wow. You want to go yell at Nick Fuentes? I'll give you his cell. Call him and go sit and yell at him and feel virtuous or whatever. That's up to you. I got the same thing with Putin. Why aren't you yelling at him? Okay, why?
But do you have to yell at him to correct him, though? Like, do you have to yell at somebody if you say, hey, this person was talking greasy about my dad, and everybody knows what he said. So when we get here, we're going to talk about that, and we're going to discuss that in 4K so everybody can see. And either A, you're going to say, hey, I was wrong, and I apologize, or B, I'm going to end the interview. I mean, it's really that easy. But you didn't push back on any of his, the long list of things that you say he said was greasy. And even about your pops. If your pops is that big of a deal, the patriarch of your family, and everybody saw, heard, and has seen what he said about him, why are you allowing him to get away without? Sure, y'all might have talked off camera, but why didn't you bring it before camera so everybody knows, like, oh yeah, Tucker's a real one. Tucker got that clarified. Tucker said, yeah, I'm coming to get this. I'm coming to get this work. Well, but why not? Okay. All right, I'm not going to keep talking about this. I'm sorry. I'm not going to rage quit. We are going to continue.
So I can show that I'm a good person. I care about what my wife thinks, my children think, and God thinks, and that's it. I don't need to prove that I'm a good person to you. You may think I'm a terrible person. Okay, I'm just doing my thing, which is I want to understand what people think. And I'm committed to that. And if you don't like it, don't watch. That's my view.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean that I share the views. I'm not telling Nazi jokes, obviously, or Holocaust jokes. I mean, please. And I don't, I'm not telling him even in private because I'm not into that at all. But I will say, just since you brought it up, one thing that did bother me was the Usha Vance thing. And I did actually, I generally make it a practice not to be like, you said this and da-da-da-da-da, and the internet tells me, or, the ADL says you said this. It's like, why don't you just tell me what you do think? Like, why don't you speak for yourself? Because we're adults. That is my approach with everybody, whether I like him or don't like him. But the Usha Vance thing did upset me because I know Usha Vance and I love Usha Vance, and I was really offended by that, just personally because I know her, right? And in a normal way. And I did think about that. Like, that pissed me off. And I'm just being as honest as I can be. I didn't want to repeat it.
Yeah, no, you're always in that position. As a journalist, you're always there like, do I repeat it?
Well, if you know the person.
And spread it?
Or well, kind of. And it's like so wounding. And I mean, he attacked my wife, as I said. So I don't know. I'm sensitive.
Okay, I'm sorry. I know I told you I wasn't going to keep stopping. So hold on. Let me make sure I got this right. You let a 26-year-old kid disrespect your wife. You've said that you're 56 years old. So you're 30 years older than him. You let a 26-year-old kid who's not even, which is crazy, right? You let a 26-year-old child disrespect your dad, disrespect your wife, disrespect your son, and the only person you're really pissed off about is what he said about the vice president's wife? Okay. All right. There you go. I feel like maybe your affections are not properly aligned, and maybe you don't know. Again, he made some pretty compelling discussions or claims about the Christian ethic and the Christian worldview. They were impressive, I have to admit. I will give him credit that what he said was impressive. The problem is, even when he said that you can be fixed through Christ, even though that still was very nebulous, but I'm going to give him a little bit. I've heard definitely worse. Okay, definitely have heard worse. But right here, instead of pushing against, why not? If you're going to make Nick Fuentes speak about his views, why not bring him on there and make him squirm and say, now, what did you say about JD Vance's wife? What did you say? What was the term you used? I don't remember. What was that term you said? So he's going to vacillate and he's going to squirm. He's going to either say it or he's not going to say it. But then the audience will know emphatically what he said. But you didn't do that to him. So you do come across as slimy. You do come across as a coward, as somebody said before. This is a clip from an earlier live stream. I know you're going to like it. So the link to the full video is down below. Check it out. I'll see you over there.